Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Oh my gosh.
Lady
journey. We've just had a very productive chat and I'm feeling excited. And I will say that it's the equinox today, although it might not
Is
be.
it?
Oh, actually, no, it's not.
Just kidding.
It was like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But it's still in the spirit of the equinox. And as the people on the Patreon may know, I did get a astrology calendar, and it said that this time is very profitable for talking about improvements in business.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yawning. Also,
gosh.
this is one of the earliest that we've done Lady Journey. We did it at 10 in the morning.
10 in the morning. Oh my
I
gosh,
got
look
up
at
at
us.
8:30.
Girl bossing. So did I. I woke up at 8:15 because as you know, we're having construction on the facade of my building. So there's been scaffolding it comes all the way up to the side. So every day at about 7:45 I wake up to the sounds of Spanish talking, and it's about 2 feet. It's literally 2 feet from my head. It's as though there is a man in the room.
So your bedroom window is onto the street.
My bedroom window, my bed's about a foot away from the window, and then the window's onto the street, and then that's where the scaffolding is.
And scaffolding in New York, if you don't know this, like it can stay up there for 10 years.
We
think
have
it's a
no
mafia
idea.
thing.
Yeah, we have no idea when it will go, and we're hoping that the construction will not last that much longer because it is the sounds of drilling from about 8:45 until 4, just as though a man is drilling inside of the home. And we're in there trying to watch TV on our giant flat screen.
Yeah.
Which is our hobby now.
I just love like the narrative. This has been coming up a lot lately when people talk about like immigrants coming over here and having poor work ethic. I'm like, no. Not outside my window.
Maybe the white immigrants. Yeah. Maybe the Russian bride influencers that are like, my husband, he get money for me.
I wake up at 2
it.
p.m.
Yes, I wake
give
up
facial.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Mike was like, that's the worst way to learn Spanish. And it's really kind of comical too, because it's like, you know, I'm still in an awkward role where it's like, these are people who are doing work on my building, so I don't want to seem, you know, I don't want to be seen to like be treating them as the help in any way, but like I have to open the window because I have to have direct sunlight at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing one man, it's the same man over and over, and he keeps like he just will like make eye contact and then he looks down, but I don't want him to feel uncomfortable that he's basically in my living room, so
He's
I'm
your
just
roommate.
like, yeah, I'm like, hi. And and it's so funny, we didn't realize our windows were so thin despite the fact that we can hear everything that happens on the street. But like, I was talking to Mike yesterday and I'm like, this is a nightmare. This is a waking nightmare, pun intended. And like, I'm like, you see all this dust? There's all this dust out there. And then the guy started wiping up the dust. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't you trouble yourself.
I love the idea of like you're learning Spanish and then they're learning English, but it's more like I hear you, but I'm not listening.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like therapy jargon.
Yes, yeah. They're learning like the lexicon of a white woman in Manhattan. That's like, I can't even. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. And you've been tired lately. Every time I see you, I'm like, how's it going? You're like, I'm tired again.
I'm exhausted. Well, I just don't want to do anything. And I don't know if it's depression. I have no idea. Because I feel like, you know what's weird? You're like, I don't want to do anything, but I'm still doing the same workload.
Yes. Yeah. I know. It's like, it's so much to do with like I do think like the menstrual cycle and like wherever you are at. Like last week I never got my period. Who knows why? I don't. But I was just so exhausted all week, and I was like, I get tired and then I start extrapolating it into like a catastrophe in my life where I'm like, I have fibromyalgia. Okay, first of all, I'm
we go.
I'm workaholic. I'm overworking, and then I take like a couple days off, and I'm like fresh as a daisy. Wow. wow, I feel great. I'm ready for a new project and I have clarity. And it's like, oh, well, I was just tired and I didn't need it to be a referendum on my entire career.
Yes.
Like, if only I could work harder, maybe I would be somewhere.
There was I think I just read somewhere there's a Bible passage where God does do that. He gives food and rest to the sky before, and then that's all he needed before wreaking havoc on the city.
Yeah. God was like, have a Snickers. I love that the Bible is just like old-timey therapy. It's like, you might be hungry.
It's weird. Not that I'm so versed in the Bible, but just some of the things that you read about, you're like, there's a lot of knowledge and like life lessons, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that still pertain to this day.
Yeah, I wish I could read it. It's too garbled for me. I'm
Just
like, Josephine,
BuzzFeed it for me.
Yeah, please. Give me the bullet points, God. That's the 10 Commandments, I guess. That's the bullet points of the Bible.
Yeah.
I'm reading a new book right now called Mastering Your Emotions, which is I'm really loving it. Since my spiral last week, I've cycled through like 10 different self-help books. Finally landed on one that seems to be helping.
That I can do.
Yeah. So Mastering Your Emotions is really good. It's all about it's very in the world of like Michael A. Singer, that type of stuff, that type of philosophy where it's like your emotions are not you, and you have to not identify with your emotions in order to not trigger like a spiral of, negative emotions going one on top of the other. And so that's been really helpful and fun for me. And I am looking forward to fully mastering my emotions. When I close the book, I don't even want to
fuck with you anymore.
You won't even notice me. So today I have a really fun journey that I'm on. I know you will love this journey too. It is health trends.
Okay. Yes, because it's come up a lot, I think, in the social media world.
Social media, it's so funny now. It's like we are now just seeking medical advice on TikTok regularly.
And I've also come to the conclusion that everyone's got an eating disorder.
Yes, yeah. Well, you were saying about the backlash against Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, she went on a podcast, and it was all about like, so where are you at today? What's your eating? And her thing is just kind of like maybe a fruit in the morning, and then bone broth at lunch, and then a few almonds at night, and then like an IV drip. And you're like, okay, you're in an eating.
You're being treated for anorexia. Like, you're not okay. I know. It's like, I'm on an all liquid diet. It's like, that's not good. You need food. You need food to live.
But it's mind boggling that they don't realize they are in that world.
Yes.
Yeah. They're like, it's wellness. And you're like, no, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually more in the mindset we talked about it, of intuitive eating.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like intuitive eating, although I do struggle with it because I just am so addicted to sugar, and now I've been a fruit slut lately. So
God, fruit's
oh my gosh,
the
I
best.
just eat fruit all night. I did have beans on toast last week, by the way, and it was so delicious. I was farting like I've never farted in my life. I kept like going in the other room to get something. Mike's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it," and he'd be like, "It smells weird in here." I was like, "I don't know."
It's the construction outside.
Yeah. But I was just eating beans, and they were so good. I did the caramelized onions, then I put in beans, tomato paste. I did rinse the beans, which I read cuts down on the gas if you rinse it.
Oh yeah. I've heard that with chickpeas.
Yeah.
Man,
chickpeas will do you in.
Get me started.
And then I did the tomato paste, a little of the Trader Joe's fermented Calabrian chili oil, which everyone knows that is it for me. And then I put in a little cream, and I had that on toast. I'm like, oh, so good.
That is, yes, so good.
Well, it's hard to not obsess over wellness, because I think, like, especially if you're in this kind of hypercritical space where you're always like, your image is being like picked apart online, or like, I think it should actually be illegal to take photos of somebody while they are doing stand-up comedy, because it's like, it's just a moment in time of me doing an act out where I'm like, hey, it's like, that's not what I want. And I was zooming in on some photos the other day, and I'm like, aha, there she is. There she is.
I'm like this right now.
Like,
no, I've been editing video, and I sat on this side the other episode that I was like, oh God, it's brutal. It's
yeah.
brutal when you're just looking at hours of film and or video and photographs of yourself that you're like, and then when you see all these images online that you can't help it, like, why can't I look like that and try everything that you can, but there's no fucking way that you can.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's like you're, you know,
It's a lost battle.
it's a lost battle, and then also you realize like, oh, it's just in my own mind, because then people see you out and they're like, oh my god, you look great. You're like, I do. I
I'm
thought it was
not Gigi.
Quasimodo.
Yeah.
But I love TikTok health trends, like especially the stuff. It's like you were saying, like these like what I eat in a day, and it just gives a completely unrealistic picture of like reality, where it's like the what I eat in a day is either somebody who's like, I'm a fat person and I'm fine with it, and it's like the stuff whatever they are eating, or it's like I'm a fitness person and I'm having 7 grains of rice.
Yeah.
You know.
Or especially the gut health one too. Like, sometimes I'm like, are we doing more damage by actually focusing on this as much?
Yeah. The thing about I was in a big rabbit hole in the gut health one, especially because I feel like sometimes my gut health is compromised because sometimes I'm just like farting like there is no tomorrow.
Like last night, I don't know why. I don't
like
recall
just,
yeah.
just farting, and sometimes it seems like if this is just me. This could be me like going too much in my own mind, but like if I eat like prunes or something, then for like a full week I'm farting like my life depends on it, where I'm like, I've just crop dusted the entire bus.
Yeah, you're like, does this mean it's working or is this bad?
Yeah, like it doesn't feel good.
No.
And then I'll take like a probiotic and it's like fine.
Done.
That's why I got like so obsessed about gut health, because I was like, oh, I wonder if actually something was going wrong in my gut, that I took the probiotic and then now everything is like magically healed. And I was like reading up on it, and it said like you're not supposed to be farting to the point that you're like, what is wrong with me? You know, it's like hard to know.
Commenting.
It's like, yeah, like
Yeah.
they're commenting, eliciting comments from strangers, from your loved ones, like something bad happened in that room, I think. I'm like, don't go in there.
No, it's always, I know when it's bad when I'm like, I have to leave. I have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, I have to go. That's what I
Yeah.
was doing in Palm Springs last year. I was like, I have to go because
Yeah.
if I sit here, I will be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just either holding it in or you're like quietly farting in the corner and hoping nobody notices that it's you. So there's like a lot of TikTok like gut health stuff that where it's like, oh, this is like my recipe for gut health. Like I wake up and I eat raw carrots shaved lengthwise. And
Yes.
it's like, this just feels like homeopathy. But I did actually do a little bit of research about the gut. And it actually says as you become older. Oh, first of all, I got really into this woman, Dr. Tracy Marks. She's a doctor on the internet and she's like a wellness person, psychologist and wellness practitioner, and she has a lot of stuff about how the gut health can actually affect your mental state.
I've heard that they say serotonin, a lot of it can be made in the gut.
Yeah, depending on like what you eat. And she was saying like she was actually breaking it down into a way that I felt like really makes sense, where it was like, you just can't eat that much bad processed food because that's bad for your gut. You need whole grains, you need fruits, you need vegetables. You shouldn't be eating like a lot of processed sugar. It was like, just eat like basically the Mediterranean diet, which I love because it includes wine for some reason.
Yes.
It's like, and a glass of wine. I'm like,
Feta cheese
Oh
and
my God.
olives, like
feta.
yes.
Oh my God, olive oil. Yeah, it's a diet that has a
Veggies.
lot of like yummy fats, and you can have like whole grain pasta. You can have cheese. You can, not like the amount that I'm eating probably.
Well, that's like Joe's family. They're always like just kind of like sad a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe if you didn't eat chicken tenders and pizza every day.
Yeah, it was saying like one of the videos I saw that Dr. Tracy Marks was showing was saying like you have literally, it's like trillions and trillions of organisms in your gut. It weighs like 3 pounds, the amount of organisms that you have in there.
Oh my God.
And as you age, it does tend to become less diverse, which as a white woman is jarring.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of
jarring.
sense.
So I've had so much success using these probiotics. You know, I love
Pill
them.
form?
Yeah, they're like pill form, shelf stable. I use Culturelle. But I did find out that I actually was taking them wrong because I was taking them like I thought you were supposed to take them after food, and that actually makes it so that they don't do anything.
Okay.
You have to take it before you eat anything because it has to quickly get to your biome because the stomach acid will dissolve it if you're eating like other stuff. So that's a tip. But they're also like $25. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to become like one of these women that's like, I'm making my own kimchi?
But yogurt is a probiotic, right?
Yogurt is good too. And it does have the active culture. So I do eat Greek yogurt like 1 to 2 times a week. And that does seem to help. But I noticed like when I was like eating yogurt to the level that I'm supposed to be, then I don't usually have these like, you know, these farting sprees.
I can't recall. You know what it is? I suspect I might have a slight gluten intolerance.
Yeah, I think
because I just ate a whole bowl of pasta last night, and I think that's what caused my issue.
Yeah, well, I think like also the prebiotics, focusing on the prebiotics, which is the food that feeds the gut bacteria.
Yeah.
And the whole grains are good prebiotics. But it did also say sourdough bread is a great prebiotic, which is great because that is my number one food that I cannot live without.
Well, it's so good with butter. Is butter a probiotic?
It's definitely not, but I think it's fine. It would sneak by. We'll sneak it by. But yeah, so gut health, I think gut health is important, but I don't know that it's like that important that you need to be like doing the same recipe as Buddhist monks and having it every day, having like a rice gruel and like your sideways shredded carrots, you know?
Yeah, I've been just trying to eat more stuff that's just from earth.
Yeah, just like natural
straight
whole
to
foods.
my like just sweet potatoes.
Oh, sweet
vegetables
potatoes,
with a little olive oil, salt and pepper, but like just kind of sticking to foods that I feel like are just your simple veggies that your body can break down.
Yeah, that's all the prebiotic stuff. That's all it is. And yeah, Mediterranean diet. That's my next diet that I want to go on because I like the Mediterranean because it's like it's really not that restrictive. And beans are on the Mediterranean diet. Yeah. Beans, legumes. It's like Whole30 you do it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, am I in a prison?" Although you can have fruit. Yeah. That's my version of a prison.
No, I never even bothered to attempt Whole30 because I just feel like things aren't readily available. Meaning like it's really hard to do the math of that kind of stuff. That's why I had problems with keto. You do the road and you're like, there's nothing here that I can do.
Excuse me, do you have any bison?
I know. Well, like I would go to Subway and be like, can you just fill this cup up with tuna fish in it? And then I just felt like I was having them enable part of my eating disorder.
Yeah. And you're like, can you get my IV drip? How does Gwyneth travel? Now my other health trend, I love, I was like researching a couple like funny health trends, which some of these things that are like tips on TikTok, it's like, this is not a health trend. And it was like worst TikTok health trends. And it was like literally guys that were, they'd be like taking a mouthful of protein powder called like it was called like dry boosting or something. Like you're just eating the dry protein powder. And they were like, it's so dangerous. Obviously it is because basically you're just doing drugs. Like, do you realize you are just eating unregulated, like
collagen powder?
Yeah. You're eating like unregulated like amphetamines.
Yeah.
And then you're working out with no water.
But look how tight my muscles are.
Yeah.
You're like shrink wrapped to your body.
That's so funny to me, like uppers as a drug, where it's like I always am from like the perspective that like drugs should like relax and like chill you, but it's like no, I am working out now.
I'm doing so much. I do have to tell you, my drug of choice was always the stimulants.
Oh yeah, mine too. That's why I'm like a big coffee head now.
So I could be like, I'm doing things, but you're like nothing that's going anywhere.
Yeah. I'm writing a story. So my other TikTok trend that I have been on is the magnesium. Have you heard about the magnesium one?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. So this is like so mind-blowing. I think maybe you should take it. I do take a multivitamin, but I was looking at of course I saw on TikTok, they were like, and by they I mean teenage women that I have awarded an air of authority to.
Yes. They are higher up on the status.
They know they're very pretty, and that means they're doing something right. Their skincare is on point. So they were like, magnesium changed my life, basically. And they're like, magnesium, I started taking it every day. I slept better. My depression went away. My fatigue went away. So I was like, oh my God, like I'm getting magnesium today. So of course I went to Whole Foods, where I shop, as you know.
Yeah.
I went to Whole Foods to be with my people. And I'm like standing there. First of all, I knew I was on the right track because huddled around the magnesium section was like a pack of Gen Zs.
Okay.
And there was a pack over there. I said, girls, to the side.
Millennial coming through.
Yeah. I'm fighting my way to the front. So I didn't realize this, but there's like literally like 10 types of magnesium.
Yes. That's what happens when I see these things. I'm like, okay, got it. I'm going to the store, and then I get there. I'm like, wait, which magnesium is it?
Yeah. And I was like playing the video back, and they didn't have the one that the person recommended. So I was like looking. I almost got magnesium calcium because I had been talking to my aunt on the phone. I was like, I'm going to get magnesium. She was like, oh yeah, magnesium calcium. That's what I get. And I was like, okay. But then I saw magnesium citrate, and I love citrus. And I thought, like, what? Who doesn't love a zest?
Yeah.
So I got magnesium citrate, took it, went to sleep, woke up to the sound of drilling, and didn't feel anything. So then like last night I was like pittering around, and I was like, let me just check out some other, when I fact check from TikTok on YouTube. That's what I do now. I said, let me look into some other different hot people. I watched these two brothers who are doctors.
Of course.
And
it's only men on YouTube.
It's only men on YouTube. They're doctors, but they're also brothers.
Yeah.
And they went through they had another video that was like about how magnesium is really useful. And then they also had a video of the different types of magnesium. And magnesium citrate is like one of the strongest known laxatives that you can get.
Yes.
They were like, this is, if a normal laxative isn't working for someone who's seriously ill at the hospital, we call in the big guns. I was like, thank God I looked this up before taking this every day for like a week to see if it made a difference.
That's the problem. Like, that's what's happening online all the time. I've noticed that, like, anytime I see a mom being like, look at my baby, I found this new way of sleeping. I'm like, I know in the comments they'll be like, your baby will die and it's sleep. No matter how you sleep your baby, there is millions of comments being like, she will die in her sleep.
Yes.
And but I find that also in the health world, I'm these new things, and then someone's like, oh yeah, well, say hello to diarrhea for me. Like, it's just nonstop. I don't know what's right.
Yeah, conflicting information. And also it's like everybody, even somebody who has like no authority other than being hot, is like, I've invented something. It's called vitamins.
Yeah.
Ever heard of it?
Well, like I was doing the celery juice diet, and we were all told like, you're going to see amazing things. I didn't see anything. And then I found out later, it really doesn't push the needle that much.
Doesn't do anything.
And I was going through like a restaurant inventory of celery, like just boxes of it, just like drilling through my juicer. And
like, this is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Like, I was expecting to have like every problem solved in my life, and instead I just took a massive shit like late at night and was like,
that's
whoa,
all you
what
need.
Was that? Yeah. I did sleep great. But so I am going to go back and get the magnesium that the two doctor brothers recommended.
To not shit your pants.
To not shit your pants. The magnesium is glycinate. The magnesium glycinate is the one that helps you get a really deep, restful sleep.
Okay.
So I'm going to get that one. I probably will just keep the citrate around. I don't know. I think I'm going to take it back, actually. It's
For
60
fun.
Tablets. Who needs like 60 laxatives? Like, oh my God. I looked something up online that was like, never take this daily. I was like, okay.
Well, maybe that's why it's big with the younger girls. Maybe it's because laxatives is a form of bulimia.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
They're huge pills. I was like surprised. I was like laying awake in bed at night like, did I take too much? It's so funny, but it is nuts with supplements where, you know, you always, of course, that is. I was talking with somebody lately, and I was describing Lady Journey to them. I was in a meeting, and I said, you know, it's kind of like when you think that something's missing from your life and that it's out there.
Yes, and then as soon as you find it, you need to immerse yourself in it immediately,
and then it never works.
Or you do it, as you said, 2 days.
Yeah, you do it for 2 days
and you move on.
Yeah, and the person I was chatting with was like, oh yeah, I'm doing that right now with Athletic Greens.
We just got some because they advertise to podcasters, so you get like free stuff from them, and we have it. But I'm like, I think just eating vegetables is
eat
the
some
safe
veggies.
bet. It's the same thing as like we're also told take collagen, those little like gummies that you can do at the store to build up hair and growth and skin. And from what I've gathered, I looked into it because I feel like as I've gotten older, I deal with slight hair loss, and I've read that it boosts that, and then I found out it doesn't move the needle.
It doesn't do anything. Yeah. Well, speaking of hair loss, I did get into oiling. I did get into oiling my hair, which that is a trend on TikTok. I was on hair TikTok for a while. And well, now I'm just on like you can make $1 million in 2 days TikTok. I love those
like
ones.
The side.
I'm just on I'm on like side hustle scam TikTok now.
Make templates on Canva. And I'm like, okay, now I have to learn graphic design.
Yeah, all you have to do is go to college, get a degree, and then get a job.
It's like we said, just wait tables once or twice a week to make that side hustle money. Don't start a business.
No, we've become anti-side hustle. Yeah. Just enjoy your life. So the hair oiling, I use argan oil, which is like the Moroccan oil budget, and I got it from The Ordinary. It's only like $6 for like a whole vial.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Moroccan oil is like $40.
Yeah, it's expensive.
But the smell is great though. So anyway, I started doing it once a week, and basically most TikTok tutorials will tell you like you put it in, then you have some kind of robotic head massager, which I am not buying because I know that's going to just be in the corner of my bathroom like an eyesore for the next 8 years after I'm like, it pinched me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's in purgatory right now.
Yeah, not
it's
going
with
there.
the mandolin box.
Yeah,
your
yes.
death box.
So you do like probably like 2 to 3 droppers, and you just drop it all the way through. You massage, like get it all the way down. I use my oil brush. I pull it all the way down, and then I just put my hair up for like 2 hours, and then I scrub it all out. It is reputedly it helps with hair growth. It helps stimulate the hair growth. I've also read that you can't do that because that's not a thing. It's not a thing that you can just like trick your hair into growing.
Yeah, because I feel like men have been losing their hair for centuries that they would have stumbled across this before
exactly.
we did.
Yeah, like yeah. Like Jeff Bezos has never heard of it. The richest man. But I will say I started doing it about a year ago, and now I've started doing it like once a week. I've been like more disciplined about it because when I do it once a week, my hair, I have so much less issues with frizziness.
Yeah.
It's so good for your hair, and it's so cheap to do, and it's just like an easy, I treat it like my face mask, like
yeah, it feels good.
Once a week. Yeah, it's so great. Like I had really frizzy hair for a really long time, and I could never figure out why. And I just have I have videos of myself doing stand-up where I'm like, I had the set of my life, but I'll never be able to post it because I look like I put my finger in a light socket. And so it's so funny too. It's like nobody is ever like, hey, I noticed your hair's frizzy, like maybe you should try this. You just hear all of like TikTok where it's like, I put a full jar of mayo on my hair every night and then I wrap it up and I'm good. And you're like, I guess that's science.
Yeah. I've done that mayo trick, and it doesn't, your hair is just oily and it smells horrific.
Yeah, it's like, was somebody eating egg salad in here?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's my hair mask.
I've also done the apple cider vinegar for my head because I get an extremely itchy scalp, and that I haven't felt, and well, it just smelled, my head smelled like salad dressing. I don't know why people are always like, and it's odorless. I'm like, have you ever smelled vinegar? It's bad. I'm like, you're in denial if you don't think vinegar doesn't smell bad. But I do have it in my shampoo, and I have to say it's been a lot better than Head and Shoulders.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know. Yeah, Head and Shoulders just feels like it has so many like chemicals in it.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't want to wash my hair as much because that's also when I lose the most amount of hair is in the shower.
Yeah.
I've looked into hair plugs.
Really?
I have.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Are you thinking of doing it? It looks like the surgery looks really painful. I mean, we know a couple of people that have done it. No names.
Guys.
Some men. Actually, all men.
I've looked online for what's the before and after because I don't need it like men do.
Yeah.
I feel like it would make me feel slightly, I would like to wear my hair in a ponytail again.
Yeah. Just a slight volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to do it. I have seen like really interesting before and after stuff on TikTok where it's like I started using hair oil. This is literally my before and my after, and it does look a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I do have like kind of a weird hairline like here. Like
mine's like receding like a dude. Like there was one time I haven't worn my hair in a ponytail since. We pulled it up and I was like, I look like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, who doesn't look like a man in a ponytail? I feel like I'm like one step away from looking mannish at any time, and I'm.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Nikki talked about one. I think it was on like the Tonight Show of like the only thing that separates us from men is makeup.
Oh, that's so true. Yes,
that
was a great bit. That was a great bit. Because I think I saw that on her new special. Yeah,
okay,
it was, like, so funny.
But it's true. Like we all look like we're the same gender until we put makeup on.
Yes. Yeah. You need it. You need a little. You need a little something.
Hey, we're not like these guys.
Yeah. We like lady football. Yeah. So that was my foray into, hair oiling. And I have to say, like, it's worth it to do it, even if it doesn't stimulate your hair growth, just to like combat frizz. But I have also tried it with my mom gave me castor oil for some reason.
I've heard that. I've heard people say doing that with their eyelashes.
That's why she gave it to me. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's also, it's a natural antibiotic or antimicrobial. And so she gave it to me because of blepharitis.
Yeah.
When I had that eye infection, she was like, you should start doing this. And I was like, okay. I'm like putting it in. And then I just I fell off because once I stopped eating sugar, my eyes problems have been a lot better.
That's what I found to be a lot. Like when I was drinking heavily, I had a lot of skin issues, and it was probably at the spike in sugar levels.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as stopped drinking, most of those skin issues and the inflammation went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's a bump. Like it's nice that I am an alcoholic, so I just stay away from drinking.
Yeah.
But it is tough when you're like, just don't drink. And people are like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I like to have a glass of wine.
I know. I feel like that too. And I feel like when I am kind of in like a sober, curious lifestyle now where I'm like, I will have a drink like maybe once a month or then, every 2 weeks or like, at the most it's like once a week now having like a glass of wine, which usually is actually 2 because, you're always getting like a jumbo. You're like, is this one glass? Because I'm on the floor. But I think like cutting down on alcohol has made me feel so much better. I remember like I used to have a drink like every night, and then sometimes I'd be like no, and I wake up the next morning like, oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah, you're just tired
drink last
and dry.
night. Yeah.
Well, that's what I suspect. That's why I haven't really focused too much on like health and other areas of my life because I feel like once you kind of stop drinking, a lot of stuff falls to the wayside.
Yes, it just like totally falls into place. I mean, alcohol is just so damaging to your body.
Well, that's what I've been seeing a lot of discourse lately, not to anyone that's like enjoys their drink by all means and do what you're having fun with, but there is a lot of discourse, and I do agree with it, that like I think we're going to see alcohol as what we've now treated, now how we see cigarettes.
Yes, I think we will too, because marijuana is so much less toxic to the body.
Yeah.
And it's so much less. I mean, I guess depending on, what you're doing, if you're doing like some kind of like dab that's like in, embalming fluid that you're like, I don't know if this is healthy actually.
I know
but-
you hang out with your pot friends and you're like, I hate this. I might as well hang out with heroin addicts.
Yeah,
Like y'all are
you're
just
right.
almost
You're
asleep right now.
falling down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be this similar with sugar, actually, with
Yeah.
like table sugar and like all of that, the corn syrup and stuff. That's the stuff that really causes inflammation. But, I stopped eating sugar and I had one cookie like a couple weeks ago, but I've still had, I've had tons of fruit. I've been having my dates. I got these dates called Julie's. I got a bulk
from
box.
Amazon.
Yeah. Bulk box of dates, and they're amazing. And I'm probably still eating too much sugar, but it's like I kind of don't care because I'm like, I know this is not as bad as the cane sugar.
Yes.
But
At least it's from, as long as you've got fiber with your sugar,
You have fiber.
it's not the worst.
You have fiber, and you know what? I'm not getting back on like the bad crack. And I still do have a problem with like, I'm basically emotionally eating, but it's like, I think that there's some kind of illusion that exists, especially for women, that's like, one day I'll be perfect.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like,
It's never happening.
yeah, or like if I could just eat 4 almonds a day like Gwyneth, then I could
will
have the
be-
career of my dreams, or I could fall in love, or I
Yeah.
could have a baby, or like what X, Y, and Z. And it's like, that's just what society is messaging you, so you'll buy things.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's what they suspected with the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. They were like, well, also in the span of that, she was hawking products. So
mhm.
because it got regenerated of being controversial, it also like now you're seeing all the products. And they also, somebody
interesting.
suspects she's about to go into trial for a ski accident. Somebody, we don't know. The guy says she ran into him, and then she's saying he ran into her, and then he's suing her for medical damages. So she's in Aspen and ski court.
I love celebrity crimes. I love it. I love it. Her defense is like, I'm eating 4 almonds a day. How could I run into anybody?
No, it would be like, did a ghost just go through me? But they suspect they were like, we'll have her do this, and people will talk about this eating disorder and not focus on the trial.
Yeah.
But I'm like, are people that calculated?
I feel like there are PR people that maybe think of that stuff for
Okay.
them,
Genius.
Yeah, although I will say, like, people do love to jump on celebrity drama, even though it's like nothing. What's going to happen? Is she going to pay him a fine? Or, I mean, she's certainly not going to go to prison for manslaughter.
Yeah, I know.
Like some people should have, it's like just fixed up. But anyway, the my sugar alternative that I'm into right now is stevia.
Okay.
Because I think, like, I realize, like, I don't need to live this. I know that sugar is not good for me personally. And again, like, I hate to be this person that's like, sugar is bad. I know that it causes inflammation for me. I can feel it. And I know that it's super addictive for me. So I don't want to have it in my life anymore, but like, there's no reason that doesn't mean I never need to eat like something sweet in my life. Like, I don't need to be living this
joy.
like, I don't want to be like living this ascetic like existence where I'm like, oh, I eat one piece of cardboard and that's my food. Like, it's like Soylent Green or something crazy,
Well, that's where I just try not to add sugar to my teas, my beverages.
Cut out the extra sugar.
Yeah, sometimes I hate. That's why I don't really like store-bought salad dressings, because I'm like, they put so much sugar in this.
Yeah.
That
I
it
like
takes
to do.
away from the actual flavor of the dressing.
Yeah. And you want that vinaigrette.
Yes.
Because you're
with
French.
the garlic and the spices. But yeah, that's always frustrating. Or then like, but I do like it in my oatmeal, like a brown sugar.
Oh, a little brown sugar. Well,
Yeah.
now that I have the stevia, I got the liquid, and you can bake with it. So the only issue with baking with it is like when it doesn't have the same consistency as sugar, because it's like such a higher concentrate that you only use like a few little drops.
Yeah.
So I have had success using it to make like a hot chocolate. And stevia has no carbs. It has no calories. It's basically like an herb. It's just an herb that tastes sweet. So it's like,
how does that happen?
I know. It's like, oh my God, like other things taste sweet other than sugar. other things can be sweet.
How?
Yeah. I don't know, but I think that's science. It's a science that I'm not willing to look into until there's a recall.
I know. Well, that's what I always like. We've talked about this, but when you're like, I'm not eating sugar, and then all of a sudden I'm like eating 8 carrots, and I'm like, oh, I know, my body's figured out there's sugar in here.
I know, it's true. That's how I am with the dates right now. Like the dates, they're so good. But now I'm actually to the point where I'm like, I'd rather have that than like a cookie.
I agree with you. It's because first of all, it's easier to make, but I like the texture of dates, and it hits just as much as a cookie does for me. And the problem too now is like when I go get a baked good, a lot of the times I just find them again too sugary that I don't taste the flavor of like the other ingredients in there that's why I like having a little extra salt in my cakes and cookies.
Oh yeah. Ooh, salty. Or like an olive oil cake or something. That's my next goal with the stevia, is to try to do something that's a little bit more like olive oil cake, banana bread. We'll see how the consistency comes out, but yeah, I actually feel a lot better, and I also feel like better using the stevia, that I'm like, oh, I can have whatever I want, and I don't need to live this like restrictive existence that ends up being like a total nightmare.
Yeah, where you're like, you cannot go out tomorrow.
Yeah, you can't escape it. You're like out with your friends and everyone's like, I'll have a cheeseburger. And you're like, I'll have a boiled piece of cabbage.
I know.
You're eating like a Depression era survivor. It's just like, it's not fun.
I know. One time when I was waiting tables, I was in the kitchen pulling a plate to bring to the table, and they had modified it so much for their diet that it was just white rice and a boiled chicken breast. And I was like, why even go out?
Yes, exactly. Why even go out?
This is so boring. It was depressing that I was like, you came out to this restaurant and this is what you're ordering?
Yeah, just go home.
Yeah.
Go home and have
Go to
sex. Yeah, I know. I will say it has like cut back on me eating out a lot, which is good. Like it's actually good that I'm like, oh, I don't even need to eat out or like buy pre-made food. Like I go to Whole Foods now and I'll look at like the pre-made food. I'm like, this all looks like shit to me. Like I'll just go home, make a fresh salad, and just like eat something simply. So anyway, those are my health trends. Everybody, thank you.
Stay well.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, did we do the stone dedication? Holy
No, we
fucking
didn't.
Shit. Holy fucking shit. Oh my God, thank God I remembered. I was about to just end Lady Journey without having dedicated the stones.
Sorry.
I sincerely and deeply apologize. These are not, I will not be saving these for the next session because we have 2 new Patreon members. And everybody, please don't stop the tape now. We could have other quips. Don't stop the YouTube now.
Yeah.
This first one is for Dana. Dana, thank you for joining our Patreon. You're so awesome. This is a piece of stibite that is actually from Death Valley. This relieves economic stress and stabilizes your finances. I like how I'm like living vicariously through the stones I'm prescribing people. I'm like, Dana, you probably need some money coming in right now. Hopefully. Hoping to God. Dana, welcome. And also Jessica, thank you so much. This is Blue Appetite. Now this focuses on the future and psychic ability. So Jessica and Dana, welcome to the YouTube. To the Patreon. Please join our Patreon if you've got $5 to $10. We're doing full bonus episodes on there now, and we are on a journey to get to 100 Patreon members. So we're looking to grow it.
Yes.
So please join, and also please like and subscribe on our YouTube.
Lady Journey.
Lady Journey.